Good afternoon, all. We will continue our deliberation of the agenda item 4, which we did not conclude before the lunchtime break. We had the presentation from Mr. Gamiltov and Mr. Dollimore in relation to the new website, and I know there was at least one question that was wanted to be asked from New Zealand in relation to that. So could I invite Mr. Gamiltov and Ms. Dollimore to return to the stand to answer any questions that may come. I will commence by inviting the delegate from New Zealand to ask her question and then pass that question on as required. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A very short, simple question, and that is relating to searching the website. At the moment, there is no capability to search the whole website for the papers. Is that something that's planned for the future?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? I didn't get my earphone on.
So the question is around searching the website. What plans might there be in the future to be able to search all of the papers in terms of keywords? Thank you.
We have not implemented that just as by yet, but it's we have had a request out so far, so it's something we've been thinking of. It'd be immensely useful if we could get something like be able to search through all the PDFs of almost all of the conferences and most of the recent sessions would be really great. So it's something we think of, yeah.
Thank you. Does that provide the answer that you were looking for? Thank you. I'll now pass the floor to our colleague from Jamaica.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With your permission, I would also like to make some comments which are applicable to the other reports. Okay. All right, so we'd like to applaud the work done to date by the division, particularly Ms. Cecile Blake and her team. I must say that Jamaica being here this year almost did not happen, but thanks to her quick action, we are here and can contribute. The new engagement does provide an opportunity to do things differently and ensure that the committee aligns itself with and embrace changes in the technology and the geospatial realm, and the development of the web-based map, which we saw earlier this morning, and the revised website both represent good statements of intent in this regard, and would like to encourage continued work in this area. Having listened to the comments this morning, though, Jamaica would like to recommend that consideration be given to decentralizing the update component of the web map database and place a burden on the local authorities with responsibility for place names where that may exist in a country to aid with the update aspect of the web-based map. And finally, I would like to add that as part of the focus on the strategic plan or framework for the new engagement, that promotion of the value of place names be given central focus, as well as increasing involvement by other countries, particularly other small island developing states like us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that. I'm sure those considerations will be held in account as we develop things further. I recognize Canada and pass the floor to the Canadian delegation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'm coming back to the Ungegan website and the new pages, and thank you very much to those distinguished experts who have volunteered their time to work on this. Exciting, I think, to have a new website design for the new Ungegan. I have two questions. One is really directed at the Secretariat. In past times, some of the divisions and even some of the working groups have not been able to maintain their own websites, and the Secretariat has volunteered to put up a page or two for those divisions or working groups who cannot do their own website. And I'm just wondering what the situation is now, considering we know you have, what should I say, not too many staff on hand to do this, but what is the situation? What sort of support can you give for divisions and working groups who would like some basic pages put up but do not have the capacity to do their own website? And the second question is a more general one about the new web pages. I'm just wondering how you're going to work the system of the URLs for these pages, and whether we're going to find that some or all of the URLs that we have used before and are on brochures or on publications, whether you are able to maintain those or whether pages will be directed. I'm just wondering how you will handle that. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I'll pass the comment over to the floor over to the Secretariat first to answer that particular question, and then invite the others to proceed on question number 2.
Thank you, Representative from Canada, for those questions. In response, we do try to provide support, and we will continue to provide the support that we have always done. Thank you.
In response to the second part of your question, Honored Delegate, we, of course, have as a goal to have all the information we have on the current homepage transferred to the other. But since some of the structuring and the layout will be different, it's not necessarily so that the current URLs will be the same as the future ones. In some cases, it won't be practical. Perhaps in all, I'm not sure. It depends entirely on which new URL, base URL we're going to be using as well. Are we going to be using the same? Do you know? Okay, we're going to be using the same base URL. So, in some cases, they may be the same. In others, they will be changing.
Thank you for that. Is there any other question from Canada to follow up? I recognize Canada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, thank you to the Secretariat, because I know some of the divisions will really benefit from the help with this. And as far as the URL is concerned, I think if the home page is the same, at least then the sort of significant links that we've got will be maintained, and people can work their way through after that. Perhaps you will have to do some links from the old pages to the new ones in terms of people finding things.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I would now like to recognize a comment from Indonesia.
Thank you, Bill. Peter, I like your design of the new website. It's quite millennial for me. Yeah? It's colorful. It's nice. Indonesia now is maintaining the Asia Southeast Division website. We're just wondering, do we have to reformat our website also to look like the UNGGN, the new one, or whatever? Or you just give us the link or whatever? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honored Delegate of Indonesia. No, you don't have to change anything to make it look like the new one. That's not necessary. So.